Hey y'all, Tami Lynn Chambers here. I'm in front of like the most boring backdrop ever. But this is just easier right now to do inside and in front of my laptop than it is to try and sit somewhere with like several different devices going at the same time. But I want to start in anticipation of my new, the first book in my new YA fantasy series coming out at the end of this month. I want to start doing readings from the book. Of course, we won't go all the way to the end, but I do want to start, to just share this with everybody. And the audiobook, most of it, I think the first 13 of 20 chapters is out on my author YouTube channel. And I can put a link to that as well if you're interested. But I thought I would just start sharing this here because I think everybody likes a good fantasy story, and especially like I like writing young adult fantasy because it's a little bit more lightweight and lighthearted and fun. And I can do a little bit more with my characters. So, which is a little bit different than well, I think my first novel still is young adult, although some people would probably argue with that. But that's Reiki and Rock out on it's out on Amazon. It's a little bit different. But this is the first in a series. The series is called Thunder Rose Ranch. And the first book in the series, like I said, is MOXIE and Roses, coming out later this month. And then already into the second book, which will be coming out at the end of next month. So I'll be releasing a book a month. I don't know, for as long as the series lasts. I don't know how long the series lasts. My guides are saying indefinitely. Yeah, okay. Like there's other stuff I might want to write too. I have so many books that need to be published that are just finished and sitting there. Anyway, that's like a whole other story. So what I'm here to do is start on chapter 1 and just do like a quote-unquote live reading. I may come on and do a live reading as we get more into it to get y'all on, get y'all in live at the same time. But this will just be recorded for now, and then if folks have interest in doing live readings or whatever, we can do that too. So this is book 1, MOXIE and Roses, from the Thunder Rose Ranch novel series. The first chapter is called Pink Ladies. And I like kind of doing this rather than just, the audiobook I just read straight through the book. But I think I'm going to do more commentary here, which for me is a little bit fun. And also for each book that I have out, like for example this one, I did do an intro video on YouTube that goes into a backstory about the novel and then all of the characters. And then I also have a video out there on my YouTube called What is Channeled Fiction, because I don't write my books. Sorry for all the hair fidgeting and everything. It's just the way it goes. I don't write my books like most people do. So I've been watching videos about how other authors plan and write their books and do their edits and all of that stuff. And oh my God, I'm sorry, it's just like so boring. If I had to do that, I would never write a book, right? Okay, so I don't plan, I don't outline, I don't do any of that. I have no idea what's happening. So these books are all channeled, meaning that I get a book idea. I actually had characters. I kind of open up space and say, okay, I'm looking to write a new book. I want characters that might be of interest to me to come to me and kind of quote-unquote pitch their story. And then I get those ideas, and if a story idea really excites me, then I'll sit down with the characters in sacred space, kind of on a 5th dimensional plane, and I let them kind of start telling me their story. And when I mean it's channeled, I mean it is just that. Like, I have no idea how long the book's going to be. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what's going to happen, because the characters, I call them characters, but to me they're people in a dimension somewhere that just have a story to tell, and I'm just the conduit for that story. But I don't, I just let them tell their story. And just like automatic writing, the whole entire book is channeled like automatic writing, the whole entire story. I don't plan plot, do any of that. So I have no idea. They love to surprise me with each chapter, so they don't let me kind of see. I almost don't want to see like too far in advance of what's going to happen, because I love to kind of be surprised. And sometimes as I'm writing a chapter, I'm like, where is this going? Because I'm not, since I'm kind of channeling, I'm not consciously like completely reading and understanding the story as if I was reading it in its complete form. So often I'll finish a chapter and I'll go back and read it and I'm like, oh my God, this makes perfect sense now. But sometimes as I'm typing, I'm like, where the heck are we going with this? And then when they're done sharing that chapter with me, it kind of all makes sense. So that's how all of my books have been written. That's how this book has been written. And I really thought it was going to be a little bit of a longer book, and then it kind of just suddenly finished. And I was like, whoa, we're already done. Where's this going? And then I realized recently that it's supposed to be a series, and the characters are just going to continue on and further develop, because there's so many characters and there's so much going on with these people at Thunder Rose. That they're just going to really evolve themselves throughout each book. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, get started and just kind of add things as I recall them. This book was written, oh my gosh, it's been sitting finished since November of last year, when I was just kind of like, well, what am I going to do with it now? And I don't know what I did. I was like, maybe I'm not going to write anymore. And then I would go back and I would read some of it. And I was like, oh, it's so good. I just want to share it with everybody. So I don't know, right? It's just like, that's your life purpose, I guess. Part of your purpose when it keeps coming back to you. And your guides won't let you forget that it's really something that you should be doing and should be sharing with others. And these stories are transformational. I like to call them, really, I say YA fantasy fiction because there is no genre for kind of where I want to put these. I really want to have a genre that's like New Earth fantasy fiction, because these novels kind of have all of the concepts of what we embody as in our awakening. There's things about healing and, forgiveness and Ho'oponopono and soulmates and twin flames. And obviously there's fantasy characters. The situations and the end results are always dealing with, we're always working with divine feminine and divine masculine characteristics and balancing the feminine and the masculine. And there's always this overarching theme of divine love involved with how the book goes and how things end up working out. And even there still is other stuff. There's real world stuff. There's relationships, and there's passion, and there's conflict, and there's shadow aspects that need to get worked through. Just all of that that you go through in an awakening process, but kind of a little bit fun. Like, I like to see these like, yeah, we're awakened, but we still, but only, I guess where I see this too is I pick up a book nowadays, and if the person writing it is kind of a lower vibration, even if it seems like a fun story, I can't even read it anymore. I just like have to set it aside because I don't resonate with the vibration of where it's coming from anymore. And so what I wanted to do is create books that the stories were at the same vibratory level or higher than what I'm at. And that way folks that are looking for something new and different and to go along with their awakening process that's a good story would resonate with this, right? So just like when you're awakening and you don't really watch TV anymore, like I don't even have a TV, okay? I do have a TV, but it's for my son's Xbox, but I don't watch TV. I have no TV. The only thing I watch now is Netflix. Very few things on Netflix that I'm interested in. And so it's becoming the same way with other outlets, books, magazines, songs, whatever. The higher vibrating you go, the less you resonate with all of that other stuff, that sits on the grocery store shelves at the checkout stand and all of that. Like, I don't into none of that. So that's where I think these books for me are coming in, like I said, almost like New Earth fantasy fiction is where I see these falling, vibrating at a higher rate with concepts, ideas, and situations that pertain to us and where we're at in our awakening and our ascension, and also just carry with it my own very high vibrational energy, charging these stories with white light and Reiki and light language and all of that as well. So I hope you find it interesting and you want to follow along. Obviously not everybody will, but I know there's probably a big chunk of my audience that can appreciate and really get into these stories, which is why I'm sharing them on this channel. So let's get into chapter 1, Moxie and Roses. Yay, book 1 of the Thunder Rose Ranch story series. This is called Pink Ladies. So all is well at Thunder Rose Ranch. At least that's how it seems to any casual observer who visits the ranch to board their horse or get a riding lesson from the well-meaning trainers. But there's another story hidden inside the 2-story historic stone and log ranch house that sits on 600 acres in Stratford, a small town in northern Dallas, Texas. As young patrons ride their paint ponies and the ranch hands shovel out the horse stalls, Pamela Cartwright, Thunder Rose's matriarch, puts the finishing touches on her makeup. Sitting at her makeup table in front of an antique oval mirror, she admires herself for the 3rd time this morning. Oh, honey, you're going to make them all purr today, she thinks, imagining herself as she used to when she walked out onto the stage at the Texas Beauty Queen pageants. You are going to win every title out there. What she forgets sometimes is that those stages were lit for her over 20 years ago, and now the only stages she's on are the ones where she wins awards for Horse Ranch of the Year or Best Horse Training Academy of the South. No one cares about her makeup there. Amber, Pamela's 19-year-old daughter, enters her mother's bedroom to ask for money, but sees her mother lost in herself in front of the mirror. Oh, forget it, Amber thinks to herself. I'll never get her to really hear me when she's primping herself like that. Amber decides to go out to the horse stalls to see if Diego has gotten there yet. Diego Escamilla works at Thunder Rose as a part-time ranch hand every Monday and Tuesday, so Luke and Billy, the full-time hands, can have some time off. Amber smooths her long blonde hair and adds a spritz of bombshell perfume that her mother bought her on her last trip to Paris before bounding down the winding staircase of the main house and out the back door. It's a short walk down the manicured path to the stables. When she arrives, there's only the whinny of the horses and the crack of the trainer's dressage whip on the air. In downtown Dallas, Moxie Montego sits on her small patio, glad that it's her night off from work. Moxie dances at the posh men's club Pink Lady. The club is hidden on the top floor of a high-end Dallas high-rise and is frequented by invitation only. Diamond Martinez, who runs the club, enjoys the privacy that is only given after favors have been provided to all the right people. Diamond hired Moxie after meeting her in an Italian fusion restaurant where Moxie was working the door. Diamond knew sex appeal when she saw it, and she also knew that all her clients would love to see Moxie up on stage. Diego Escamilla, Diamond's nephew, also works at the bar at Pink Lady. He occasionally needs to muscle out some drunk guy who's not observing the rules, but usually the tall, muscular Diego just gets to work behind the bar and enjoy the scenery. He doesn't know what he likes better, watching half-naked girls all night or the peace and serenity at Thunder Rose on his days off, so he chooses to do both. It's Monday morning and Diego is recovering from last night at Pink Lady. One of the girls got sick and had to leave mid-show. So that left more work for the others, who celebrated the end of the night at 3 a.m. by having a tequila shot contest. Diego, not wanting to be left out of the fun, had joined them and was suffering the effects now. He did have one success last night. Moxie had finally agreed to come visit him at Thunder Rose. He had been trying to get her out there for a while now. Now, Diamond had very strict rules for her girls at Pink Lady, and one of them was that they didn't date the help or the patrons. The last time a girl broke this rule, it had erupted into a huge fight one night, one that Diego wasn't able to handle alone. He had ended up in the hospital with broken ribs and a concussion after trying to separate Deanna and her patron-turned-boyfriend. The boyfriend had found Deanna showing more of herself than he was comfortable with, but Moxie and Diego were just friends, and what his Aunt Diamond didn't know wouldn't hurt her, he thought. He just wanted Moxie to see how peaceful and serene it was at Thunder Rose. Moxie's head was spinning from too much tequila the night before, but she was also smiling because she had finally agreed to see Diego outside of Pink Lady. She knew it was forbidden, but she really liked him and hoped he might like her too. He spoke highly of this ranch he worked at, and she was excited to see the horses and take a ride. She used to ride when she was little. Her father had been a horse wrangler in one of Mexico's largest rodeo circuits, and would let her ride the gentle ponies on the weekends when her grandparents would take her to see him. Moxie decided a cool shower would help wash away the cobwebs in her brain, so she headed inside to get ready. That's that. Chapter 1. So, next chapter obviously will be chapter 2, and we'll be going into a little bit more detail with Pamela, who's the Thunder Rose matriarch, and a shamanic native medicine man that she knows called Edgar Whitetail. So if you guys enjoyed that, comment, leave me a comment and let me know if you want me to keep going. I don't want to just do this. I actually do want to do this for the sake of doing it because it helps me kind of read through it again as I'm in the editing process right now. So I might just do it anyway. And obviously someone will come along that resonates with it. And like I said, I'll put some links. You can link to my profile, to the intro and the audiobook on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Which I still haven't really decided what else to do with that channel as of yet, but it's all that one's all book related. So I have two, my light language quantum healing one, and then my author one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a magical day. Thanks for listening. Bye.